I'm sure Mpu Ne Mpu anopay e wo dwumadie so some can sin common e da obetumi aka bi e se baako fo nsa enso nyame ni kata enti wo be fa 1441 na maka ma na ko Facebook a na wo hwe UTV Ghana me ne Koku Anyidoho broadcaster we adwuma UNHCR we bank adwuma pen we politician I'm the sports nko no so sports one
of my stronger sides.
Now you there?
Oh, I used to do sports on
also guy.
No, good with Fifi Bansin.
Sports presenter.
Yes.
Because be actively participating.
No, actively, I also played and I actually coached as well.
Because be the nickname the Boo no.
In my final year in Legon, I was the coach of the Legon Hall team, football team. Yes.
Yeah, more about UTV.
Thank you.
Say ohuye there.
Kwame Yanko pardon.
Say so.
It's a pleasure.
Na ejebo ejanya ababidru haboko. Let me start with this banking you must start. Was it your trained profession? And I brabona ko ball kupio.
Well, Kwame, anyway, thanks for the opportunity. Me that's say mamsa akwenya na yenchia omo amohwe UTV anopai. Of course, producers will be in Penny Omo Hamia. I'm happy to be here. Of course. Yes. Talking about the banking, well, I found myself in banking. And talking about banking, my boss at the time, Mr. Alex Ashagbo, who was two-time governor of the Central Bank. I was his executive assistant. Let me say a weekend here, or Diawan, sorry.
Oh.
So I think I use this opportunity to express my condolences to Mrs. Ashagbo and then the children. Now, all of us who had the opportunity to work with him at the central bank level and also in Metropolitan and Allied Bank, which was the first private commercial bank set up in 1995. Wow. And it was his initiative on Ona, or the buyer, with the help of, in conjunction with some Malaysian business interests into Chairman Oluvona Jujole Unchifa Farmer. Rest in peace, sir. We shall meet again someday. So that's it about the bank. But I worked there for about 8 years. I was, and like I said, now I'm in the marketing department. Then I was executive assistant for Mr. Shabo. Served him in so many capacities. No, actually, let's say, how did it begin? So I grew up in Bema Camp. You know, Kotuka Primary School, specifically. Mikai, Yene Sepaka Enomo.
So you're the last boy?
Oh, yeah. My father is, of course, he finished at the rank of a Major General.
Major retired,
Henry Kwame Anyidoho. But of course, he began as another rank, as a private soldier.
So he rose to the ranks.
And rose to the ranks. So you can see that it was a very long journey. And so, yes, Kotuka Primary School. Like I said, Kwame no more. Kwame's mother, Antisafwa, no chair Sunday school. Chairman General, yeah, chair Sunday school together. In fact, interestingly, Kwame Papa, worry name Mami, Antisafwa. Now my Papa na best man.
Oh, wow, they're that close.
Oh, yeah, they were in the same signal corps together. Officers in the signal corps.
Okay.
Which is one of the bluffing corps of the armed forces. Interestingly, they come from the same district. One is from Tanyigbe and one is from Tabiefe, all in the whole central constituencies. Yeah, so from Achimota School, Kotoka Primary School into secondary school. I started off in Maoli, but I did my O-level in Achimota School.
Okay.
Then did my A-level at Laboni Secondary School. Then to Legon.
Okay.
First degree.
First degree then?
In sociology and English.
Okay.
And then after Legon, my national service, me on GBC.
So I want to presenter.
I want to be presenter. Now, those days, Jack Morrow, Chris Taki, and co were my producers. I think was and a few others. Now, me hear audience research, and then I me hear program presentation on both radio and television.
Radio now,
Radio, we used to have a program called Shop Window.
Shop Window.
Yeah, produced by Chris Taki. I also used to do some voiceovers on television. In those days, Indutech, Gifex, no more.
Pavilions
exactly. Running ads. Then I used to read reflections at a point in time. Used to also
that segment on GTV, even GBC TV.
Exactly.
Sometimes Papa and visitors
exactly. At the Asakra, about the point. Oh, yeah, I'm carried this movie. Then I used to present Business Forum also, which was a business segment on GTV. So quite a number of things. Then I went out to the UK for a master's program at the University of East Anglia in Norwich in development studies. Came back and actually worked with the UNHCR, United Nations High Commission for Refugees. Tama and Tokani Si were like Sierra Leone. The first batch of refugees are Moba Ghana no. Mekahon, I'm a social services officer between the UNHCR, NADMO, or mobilization at the time, immigration, the Ghana Refugee Board. We had to help disembark the first batch of Sierra Leonean refugees. So then, of course, when it came to the voluntary repatriation of the Liberian refugees from Budumburam camp, I was also part of the team that engaged in ensuring that there was the first batch of voluntary repatriation. I mean, all repatriation is voluntary per the UN conventions. Exactly. Once you are given refugee status, do repatriation, they are voluntary. You cannot force the refugee out of his other. I mean,
so
basically, from the UN, and then of course I was also doing radio at the time. Now I'm in Fifi Bansin no more. Near sports, Radio Gold.
Now for GBC called Radio Gold sports.
They said GBC era not there. Between and some of the first batch of private stations started Eba. Of course, I think Sefa was also then at Radio Gold.
He was at Radio Gold.
Yeah. So myself and Fifi Bansin and co. So I've been in radio, for media for a very, very long time. So that's why I enjoy.
Because Koku Anyidoho, a jack of all trades.
Well, I do a few things. Yeah. So then ended into the financial sector, banking for about 10 years. Finished off as an investment and treasury manager at the then Metropolitan and Allied Bank. Then, of course, from the student days, the politics was always there. I mean, my Legon name is Pato, my school name is Pato, and I'm sure my colleagues who are watching Legon Hall politics, Legon politics. In fact, in 1992, I was part of a group of students that really agitated for the restoration of full democracy.
Were you that bold?
Oh yeah, we used to do it. We used to wake up in the middle of the night, put posters all over the place. There was one time when we had a very massive demonstration, continuous, non-stop, fighting against the introduction of student loans and the removal of our feeding allowances. And I think after the police and the government at the time they had enough. They really shaped us one day.
The time I know you're a student to university and politics now doing who.
Oh yes. And so yeah, man, bro, so bring my police for bring years. I don't know. God damn it.
Who Johnny and I be
Masa, me Johnny Kosher, baby, because she has me yedi.
Usa Kasa.
Misa Kasa. And you give me my. Now,
why are you my?
Go for no more.
I said, Kukusha.
Momako can't talk. Near Yashaman now with Janabe Shaha. Usabe to be wa. Police for. Bakowa,
fine.
And it was during that police raid on campuses. And I think there was one Vida something, IPS girl.
IPS girl, yes.
Yeah, Omokoboni too or and of course that's how Yakubu shot to fame. Because Omobo girl, yes, the late how Yakubu, Omobo girl, I think at the time she had come to Parliament, the 1992 Parliament.
The only independent.
Yeah. And she made some profound statements on the floor of the house. I think that's how she was nicknamed the Iron Lady. It's the politics in the Kwame. You started at student days and.
idea. So when we're young, we're all contemplating. Say, okay, well, I was a pilot. We see me. We don't know now the politics.
Actually, no. I thought that I will end up actually as a pastor.
Really?
Yeah, I used to love Sunday school so much. And Sundays I was always in a hurry.
Koku Anyidoho preaching the gospel.
I have my religious moments actually. But I'm sure I took the message out of the pulpit. Sorry them no.
And I know they are man.
And I made a man yourself.
And I want to be a no shit.
And Oko even is a sorry. Na Holy Spirit nature so for no maza. Yeah. Na fifreti omuse.
You are spirit to be a political spirit and
Kwame, sometimes you know. Sebi nipa da sending sorry anopa. And can say anopa dem sorry there. Oko. You don't wake up in the morning and say, oh, and then look, I'm going to go all out. Say, first of all, I don't pick fights. Me be a me kuntokwa.
Na utaka so ndin tokwa baba.
Me tri esisi. And at the time na me yejuma Professor Mills, both as a presidential candidate and then as a president when I was his communications director and spokesperson. Kwame. Sebe na Professor Mills also a nipa. Now sorry no pa. Na introna doso. Atem didie na doso. A onim se omudi intro. Obehwe han. No, you must come out and boldly defend the position. I remember one day he didn't attempt MPP before ya.
How did Professor Mills attempt?
I mean, said no, omo no mo fa na nyawe. Or no mo fa na nyawe. I mean, didn't attend I said, Koku, so have I really disgraced myself that much? Yeah, that because of politics, students that I taught in school, and I think particularly that day it was Esela Usu, and they didn't attend.
The current minister of
yeah.
Or can you channel?
Oh, I won't repeat it, but you know, and then I was a cry, but be any mesla. And said some very nasty things about Professor Mills. So Prof said, Koku, look, all these people, I taught them in the law faculty. I know how they became lawyers, and today they will insult me just because of politics. Anyway, I forgive them. There was another time it was John Boydu who also decided to take a swipe. But of course, there are some of them in the NPP side who, because of what Professor Mills did to them, I mean what he did for them as students, never. In fact, I remember this Gloria Kufu, the current Attorney General, on one trip to New York. She happened to be on the flight with us into who that president. That time he was president. And the way she walked up to him, Nan in Sadan in Sayem, and then she, cuts it. I'm telling you.
That's not Professor Mills.
Or a president.
Or a president.
Exactly.
Okay.
So, like we are saying, we are all contemporaries, we are all friends. Obi wa MPP, Obi wa NDC. It doesn't mean we are enemies, but sometimes, it's your type of engineer or jiwo. So yes, one is compelled to come out forcefully, take a position, make your points forcefully, and then no can realize, yeah, Koku Anyidoho, and I walk a camubium, and I say, but the real if you say, or don't know they feel any beefy. And I once and I also Eddie Nechiaba.
Now, I didn't share Professor Mills.
Professor Mills, not mean no Legon time I'm a student. I was actively involved in sports on Legon campus, like I said, and I'm a president of amalgamated sports clubs or Legon.
It's like a sports who don't
boom, and not per sports, football, hockey, cricket, lawn tennis. He was everywhere. So we met from that level, but then subsequently, obey a vice president, obey a politics. Then that's when the politics thing began. But strongly in 2001, after we lost the elections in 2000, boom. The likes of myself, Elvis Efianka, Fifi Kwete, Haruna Idrisu, Ludwig Lodge, and we formed the youth forum, including the late Gijote, Clarissa Kolache, and Satam na NPP for no matter no many bedia almost sign and penny for. A been crab about some politics. I mean, now the harassment was so much. We had to take the bull by the horn. Bunch of young guys. You see, the bull taking the bull by the horn. And we came together and formed the youth forum and began the struggle. And President Mills was our candidate. In fact, I remember one time, said President Rawlings of Frey and Ifie, they were rich. We went eventually, like Jesus Christ ni Esuafo. And President Rawlings, Eteha. And I am
I'm not a president.
There be some ex-president.
Okay.
They were position. So I'm not Professor Mills, course sabbatical, Canada. And I'm not President Rawlings, catching the reason why we should not stop supporting Professor Mills.
The reason why he made a Swedo declaration.
And why he went for President Mills. Why we should stay strongly behind President Mills, because he felt that he was the best for the NDC at the time. And he told us a certain story. I'm not too sure I want to tell the story in full, but long and short, he made us understand the kind of character President Mills was.
It's Nipa President Mills.
Nipa no, yeah.
Okay.
Because no patch at the time, no, yeah, president. And now, Prof, yeah, IRS commissioner. Now, Professor Koku Anyidoho, finance minister. And now, IRS, no chef finance minister, I say. Now, on Marcus Buche orders be, I all know President Mills, President Rawlings at the time. After a while, no, of Frank Buche Bisan is, I don't know, carry out my orders. When I say, meow, Papa no IRS. And I say, friend, mommy. That was the time only President Rawlings, only Professor Mills, share eyeball to eyeball. Long and short, also we discussion. No? He had a lot of respect for Professor Mills. Until 1996, no running mate, our prof didn't bar up. He didn't hesitate at all. So that's how come a lot of us young guys got attached to Prof politically. Apart from what he gave us as a lecturer when we were on campus and blah blah, politically. So if you ask me today, apart from my personal relationship with Professor Mills, this story that President Rawlings told us as young boys at his feet is what even increased the attachment for some of us.
Some of your outbursts. Any comments you make here? And I say you're so much passionate about NDC.
That is the word.
Okay. Now, were you born into it? And I
no, but I was at the time I was born, there was no NDC NPP.
Born into it, that's it. You came to meet your papa.
I believe, no, my father is a professional military man and is apolitical. But if you ask me, my orientation, if I was born pre-independence, I would have been CPP. There's no way I would be MPP. My whole orientation is left and maybe now center left. Yeah, I can never belong to the right or the center of right of the political divide.
Okay.
So be it CPP, be it NDC, be it whatever. Once is the left and the center of left, you'll find me there.
You don't look at ideology.
That's the ideology. It is the ideology that makes it left and center of left. Minus ideology, then you just be floating.
It's nothing.
It's nothing. And when I say center of left and left, all I mean is that you're looking at progressives, social democrats, people who the government or political parties, or more philosophy, more yenche, and one more munibie, and so one more enya. As compared to exactly, as compared to MPP for a center of right for no more than is a property owning. You have from
capitalism.
Capitalism. You or more Macano. Yeah, pity amamo.
Because our political ideology in social democracy and capitalism, does it really work? Administration about or does it reflect in it?
Well, if you look at, for us, for example, from the Fourth Republic, 1992, President Rawlings. Now here, maybe a free buy revolution.
AFRC.
We don't go sit down, let them teach us every day. Dabida, People's Revolution, stand up for your right. I believe, sir, between 92 and 2000, I can still picture President Rawlings, the number of boreholes, and he drinking the water personally to prove to the people that in sure and you're poison. Me President Krami Numbi. It's Musumu Numbi. Because that na no Yarewum Monim Ponchini Nyan and then Num free a one source. Mbuamo. It's the borehole aba. It's the num borehole diano. So if you position President Mills also, elimination of schools under trees, wanting very much to eradicate the ship system in Greater Accra, we do our possible best. And I say, yeah, famudie. I say, be to me nina. But nya ibe to me ayama. Ahunto Accra. Abba. Se obeko ekrase, nkrase kwame. Na even recently, Mene Julius, Chief of Staff, na baby nam me kai Kenya si.
And there's some campaign.
And America, but me patch say udru crossing bia for the first time since independence, and then omunya kania. Near so kania no na ushe nije. So that is the joy.
Now Koku Argentina says sani man na mobile mo twema ye beto aba.
Oh, Kwame, say edwuma ne de untumi njai. Ebi best started from day one.
Beto aba de na kontemu.
I keep saying that I by election. Yanfani said the latest one I call Yansan here to about me say Talensi.
Talensi.
And by election I'm about Talensi. How many journalists in the Bifri Kumase and Takra say Talensi? Ebi Talensi kwa munimo. But by election Abba. And so the whole world, the whole country is focused on Talensi. So any small development that is going on then is being reported there and nothing near the Kaniaba. But some of those projects may have even begun before the by-election. Say we young kwa e wonyanko ponin sem. Obi anim say anopa ya na ochenai. Osimesi na za bintin beto. It is share no ho. But by-election na banti yenjaye. Entumi njaye.
Apart from relationship ana yenim between you and the late President Professor John Evans Atamos no. You were so close to him.
Kwame, that's a very personal relationship we had. There's a lot that I used to do.
Was it because of a GUD?
GD.
Then
but GD trust. And I think that is mutual. It was both ways. There are a lot of other people who were very close to him, but maybe because of the role I played, in the campaign. And then I said, it's not easy to be a speechwriter for somebody.
Officially, not a speechwriter, man.
I used to write all his speeches for him. Yeah. I mean, graciously and humbly so. It's not easy to put words in the mouth of a leader. And the person must trust you.
How does it go?
You must understand the psyche of the person you're working for.
No,
for example, if it's a religious speech, I have to get into my religious mood. If it's a sports speech, I have to get into my sporting mood. If it's a political speech, I have to get into my political mood. If it's a diplomatic one, I have to get into that mood. And I remember somebody asked me, how do you manage it? How do you able to mutate and change and write? Because normally in certain areas, in certain presidencies, you have specific desks for politics, sports, religion, diplomacy. But how I combine all, I just thank God for giving me that talent and that gift. And like I'm saying, you have to know the person. And it comes with a lot of training. And one also important thing is candor. say president and as a prof I say ma wo catch me paucho bi mu nyina kyerɛ me tafe me abonte na me yɛ madia
hu de me
yɛ enye sɛ meka wie ma ba
say ade na ntisa na utumi kasa kyerɛ no
hey masa he himself loved it. He himself loved it. Ade bako no chiri kra ye kokonsa. Ukono koya obe friend pako na ba say masa tenase. Kwa me say ni. Iyanwe. So I'm telling you. He hated gossip and idle talk. Stay focused and do the work. That's all.
I read somewhere say no Okacho Senka, in fact after say obey vice president in Congo politics was a lecture.
Hey, actually yes. Let me say yeah. Those are some of the stories that he shared with some of us. Nankwaya Najin said between 96 and 2000, we vice president, we pair, or best uncle lecture. But Nyakup Monshe, and yes, she said, now me can earlier on say, in command President Roll is near DA. Jide no what President Mills mu. Oh, my yes, Korani, Jide, Ewonimu. We had no option but to stay loyally and solidly behind President Mills. I'm telling you, Masa.
Beyond the name, Jenna now name for Professor Mills Wangana for needing and members of Cansadian.
Very, very, very tough-minded. Onya Quadro. On Fed Juman Diagro. David. We are Quadro, we will be on page money and into Minajuma. Like I said earlier on. Uchiko Konsa. No, you're Jumana so for no force anybody. Oh, yes. For what you're paying? Of course. I'll give you a typical example. I think 2008, just before the elections. And then all this talk, and Uniba, and all the insults that was coming from the MPP people, Sebe or Yabema. And Uniba or Moda, all the kinds of things. Meanwhile, he has a son. So Kofi came down to join us campaign before the 2008 elections. The way I make us a minimum, son on Nimi, I a prof. It's a friend of Koku. I know you. You would want to take a picture of my son and put in the papers to make a point. Don't do it. I know why I don't want you to do it. Let me see you. But me too, from a pure political communication perspective, I needed that shot of Kofi and his father in the papers. Thank you. Not only say Oba, but the banner for UK Aba, Eba supporting the papa. So between myself and other aides of the president, we agreed that we would do it and take the flag for it. So we did it. Published the picture. It had the impact that I wanted it to have politically. But Prof went wild. Oof.
Or phone so.
We get a phone.
So
face to face. There's a wapamiani. I should walk out of the office. He doesn't want to see me again. Me patch up. I said, no. But of course, in less than 24 hours, we patched up. He had come to see that I was really working.
Where you patch up?
Oh, I think. He's a kind-hearted person as well. Good-natured person. Of course, a few people went to him, explained to him. He understood. There was another time in Cape Coast. That one, something happened. I had to go into hiding for almost the whole day. Yeah. So, Masa, he was a disciplinarian. And he didn't take things. But beyond all that, we had a very healthy working relationship. Like I said, it was a father and son relationship. Or in the bedroom, or Nimpaso. We're discussing issues. That's how personal the Koku Prof thing was. And that one, nobody can take it away from me. And I'll not allow anybody to take it away from me. I mean, it was that close. The mentoring, the tutoring, and the opportunities to serve my country in such a high capacity. I cannot take it for granted.
So now, most of the times, the other candidate, the president.
Of course, we agreed on almost everything. No.
Now, Bakubi a buyer now, Black Stars need to football, a World Cup qualifier view of Bayana Sports Stadium. It is a Koku bad TV, Sunny Radio, Suja, over fire ECG boss, one Shanty region.
Kwame Midase, Mancasa be fire no. Yeah,
so Papa fire, so we don't want to be fire.
I said Bonizo Yeni. Hey, Koku Anyidoho. Ghana politics. Yeah. We were picking up signals, and as na Satamna Dumsono.
And so a shabo na ne dundum light in dundum here.
Satamna Dumso de ne back ne corner ban ne ko. Any information say, so much young here. Obi anim say Kumasi here. MPP form almost stronghold. Young here BBC.
MPP for Koku Dum light no.
What's other thing can happen?
Hey, sir.
Na transformer let's say we had there masa there Bibian and one.
Hey.
It's a ban, no. I ran some checks. I didn't act on my own. And so it was a Joy FM interview. And Amika said, yes, we are picking certain signals. And so we shall run our checks. If we do run our checks and it comes across, say Obi and the shed that Pabuapoyo and Omoye Sadena, and your heads will roll.
Come to think of it, say
heads will roll. Within a short time, the lights came back on.
Who can't say no?
And the different march in the way. After the next day, na nipa daseni, Adam ni Eve, edene ba wiase. Mo adani asem ye butu. And now my goodness, ba. And now my palm ECG. Boss, and my say, and then I say, Professor Mills Mpame, he must be sacked. One morning, about 8 newspapers. Koku is gone. Koku going. Koku sacked. Koku to be sacked. All orchestration. So I went to the president. Koku, stay focused. Stay focused. Stay focused. I didn't quote him. I said we are running an investigation. I didn't say the president said. I said Koku, stay focused. And that's how I kept my sanity, because just I stayed focused on my job, because the orchestration was just so heavy. And you ask yourself, where is all this bitterness coming from? It's not because the person is lazy. It's not the person is idle. But it's like he's too efficient for the liking of some people. So let's destroy him. And I thank God that President Mills just held my hands, kept me focused to the very end, and I still remain focused.
So now to Professor Mills, as we here.
Ghana for the drone and the tone of some.
What happened? I mean,
I'm sure if you watch Professor Mills, his demeanor, the way he talks. And I think 2004, the re-election, Obekaya Jacob Jebilamte,
the
late, a couple of funny currency. Okoye press conference be Castle Gardens, and on the 2 years MPP a winning election. A lot of the NDC people, including myself, they say Mpu Ne Mpu.
Was it because Jake Koyeye?
Because Jake Koyeye and your GDC, yes, your GDC you're winning. Oh yes, your GDC you're winning. So why should Jake go and declare results until you're TSC? He called us and said, look, young men, I can understand the way you are feeling, but Munim Bibi, Yankupone Sihine, Yenya Botre, say MPP for say Omonfa. Yankupone pair 4 years, Ebeba Sesia, Ghana for Bessa to Amami. But Pa say Yabako TSC, na Muja Shegu, say maybe President Edintino, Yankupon Pengu. I will not do it.
Beautiful.
And we had no option but to stay put. Luckily, 4 years down the line, Ghanaians gave it to him. So, yes, I believe sir, that is where it emanated from. Sir, and yet to me, can I make UBC? We were ready. In fact, there are people in our party who still haven't forgiven him for that 2004 that decision. Yes. Say Sunday say your bad power so na man for feel say the NPP 4 year yen. E tata yen. Na chachichikata Sunday was sorry near yinu. They had in the court. They are thrown to jail. Now we President Rawlings or see positive defiance. Near friendly BNI office, former president. And tell my Banyawado, and then on BNI, the lady Jote, who cast a radio so near foul. All kinds of things. Yeah, about power. People wanted President Mills to revenge. Or say, no way. We cannot continue this way. Let's move away from the politics of vindictiveness and the vicious cycle. And let's build a better Ghana. That's what we promise Ghanaians. But you see, President Mills, Oko, Nakupon Fanny Crancy, Oko, why not Femudi? The Ananakufuado, reintroducing the viciousness in politics.
This
is your Delta Forces thing. Beating up NDC people, harassing people, locking up people. Then you go to court, blatantly, openly, they say there's no evidence. So the people should go home. Sacking people from office. Vicious politics. He has restored it. Only God knows the future direction of this country. Yeah.
Koku, you have talked about Ghana since 1992, a share of Fourth Republic. I say, I'm a political party. Be a winner.
Mr. Question.
You have talked about Ghana. I'm a political party. Be a winner.
Of course. MPP won the 2000 election. Oh, they won. Same NDC won 92 and 96. MPP won 2000. As for 2000, they won it. Same as they won this one. They won this one. They won it.
What are some of the things that electorate we politicians and Musa question you? Never been indigenous so at the 2 about say we there.
Well, Kwame, you see, Oko Political Science Department, they were Lagos. And I said, political science, I could dam for or more. It is still extremely difficult to have a watertight analysis of voter behavior. Say the entire potting man for Tuabano. It's difficult. You can guess and look at certain issues, but what's that? No be FM. They don't depend on a buying for anything. Or on a juma, or on a sika, or on a bibia. Into no debia security. And hiano. And road. And water. And hospital. And security. Obi waha o bibia. 7 more cross move to cry. Somebody, it is about the president and how the president carries himself about.
Oh,
that's why somebody will vote. How the president's men carry themselves about. That's why somebody will vote. Somebody's about the road. It's about the school. So it's a mixture of things. I recall, for example, President Mills being so sensitive to the mandate. And I'm using the word mandate because it's 2 minutes. Make President Mills. Every time I obeko assignment out of castle or be instructed, let us use the road with the least traffic. I don't want to disturb motorists. Then, Obedi president on the 7th of January 2009. By the 14th of January 2009, no way to every regiment will if Abba Castle.
Because Oko Juma no traffic.
Thank you. Because Oko Juma traffic or Kofia traffic. And I say Abba. Me a Martina spin takes road this so the traffic Musa after na me mabe cause traffic ama motorists. I'm going to the castle, whether President Kufuor stayed there or not, I'll manage it. And Numuna, on my instructions, and the started saying creating a Pongo line bypass no. Polo Club.
Yeah.
Because he said, Spintex 4. Let me do something to reduce the traffic on the Spintex road. That's how sensitive President Mills was to his mandate. And per diem, we are still running our investigations. But per diem, a man for Ejibo and then Abamuno. It is outrageous. President Mills me buy Mikai. Niana President Kufo Ejijeno. Oteso, he slashed it down almost to the champion days. And he himself never took per diem.
You don't mean that?
I'm telling you. He never took per diem. Check the records. He took a list no. Director of State Protocol, Ken Kanda. Be prepare list no. Why is this person's name on the list? Ken. No. Remove it. I don't want him on the trip. I've told you that I don't want too many people on this trip. Say, we need extra security. No, nobody wants to kill me. Don't worry, we'll be fine. Because when we get there, the other state will also give us security anyway. So why do we need 10 security men? Drop it to about 4.
So I know a very modest person.
I'm telling you.
There is a new one, a shifty NDC focus, Kakra.
I don't know, but I'm talking from my closeness to him and managing him.
You're not a sort of person now,
yeah. And managing him. See, I can only speak to what I know. I can't speak to what I don't know. So I'm talking about President Mills' presidency because I was his director of communications in opposition and I was his director of communications in government. I was with him 24 hours. So I can speak to only what I know. All I'm saying that Ghana lost in him a great leader. And I'm sure other great leaders will come. But for him and for what I shared with him, the experience, I get the list he. He'll cut the list. I don't want more than 15 people on the entourage. That's it.
2016, August. Also soon Diana Ghana 12 man and don't Koku for the Dinkunim.
Yeah.
Was it a joke and also Diana?
Masa, Miss Sundai, but not die bonnie.
Who Diana Sundai?
Miss Sundai, but not die bonnie. Nightmare. And then Abem die bonnie, I'm assuming because ye Ghana for Masa die, sad die, some bemu and Abem.
Maybe I now will be done at Junasi. Send go for fire by whom I did. I bet this possibility said. You know, some Michelle politicians have put a question here, but do you contemplate the chances?
No, it's true. No, you have to do it, to be frank.
So
if you are a realistic politician, you must open up the options. If what you do is that you have a situation room where you do the analysis, you understand? You must be able to tell yourself.
And if a reality check.
Masa, that is why a Drew Babia. Now, say a binumu. You see, Kwame, the only way to succeed as a politician is to be prepared for the truth. Be prepared for the truth. It may be bitter, but take it. That's the only way you succeed and lead. But if you hate the truth, people will feed you with lies. When you realize that by the time you realize that you are naked, it's too late.
As a politician, when you you cannot be a good politician.
No, sir, that is a bit messy.
It's not coining word in propaganda.
No. I mean, that was Goebbels and his people who did what they wanted to do for the Nazi regime. But everybody knows that at the end of the day, the Nazi regime was toppled. So it tells you the propaganda cannot even last for long.
Tell the people the nice story when you know it's bad.
No. So propaganda doesn't last.
Like you were comfortably in lead when you knew, say.
Based on certain variables that I had.
When you thought you were comfortable.
Oh, yes. Based. And I said that if those things remain constant, we'll win. So if the variables changed, as variables do, and they didn't remain constant and we lost, have I not accepted the results? I have.
So being comfortable in lead, you are actually looking at the variables.
Thank you. You are doing an analysis.
Now watch you on TV, you sound so confident. Say, yeah, we are comfortable. Now we'll cast how much it for them. Anyway, when did you realize that? I'm fat.
You know, we were in the situation room doing the analysis. We had done up to a point because, Masa, every election, at the end, MPP for somewhere winning. How?
I know some command.
Masa.
So we are collecting it there.
Thank you. So we had to come out and assure our people that look. Yes, so but by the time we finished the general thing, maybe we were looking at our strongholds more at the time that we were in a comfortable lead. So, like I'm saying, the variables changed. and the president conceded defeat. The electoral commission announced the results.
Before that concession, now what is that?
Of course. I mean, we will know at that time that look, the leader is going to do this, so that we're not taken aback.
Yeah, what until we heard some people were opposing to that action. Say, now then, I will bet you in terms of.
And let me be fair to the president. It certainly was not an easy decision for him to take, to concede defeat. Like I'm saying, that it's a team decision, it's a group decision, and so you must be strong to take such a decision. You understand? So it's not easy to be a leader. That's what I want to.
Were you disappointed in Ghanaians?
No.
Say, you go stadium. We should go stadium. We should prepare what stadium.
Look, Kwame, like I said earlier on, you see, a little bit of candor on our side, it would have helped. Yeah. Master, you see, we pay. It's an aboa srewa on the bed diagram. We need to change na meboa. It is a bit more who be paying. No more can say hey. Oh mo who be paying. Oh mo fi onko.
Na e bi kan ho.
Master, e abebu. Me kan sem e di asem si asem so. But me mbo bi edin.
The bupa.
And I make us say, the truth hurts. But if you want to be a leader and a good politician, be prepared for the truth. As simple as that. And don't take the electorate for granted. They are out there, they are very discerning. Don't joke with the electorate. Don't joke. They are very discerning. And that is the part of this job that I enjoy. That I get to meet people on a daily basis. You may think that they don't matter. But when they speak to you, out of their mouth, you can pick a lot of wisdom.
We are patiently waiting for Professor Kwesi Botwe committee report. But the former president, Mahama Babu Ntiabeka said, you think that he's saying that because he has to say it because he was the commander-in-chief at that time? He has to say it because before Kasa say,
I just told you that it's not easy to lead. And it certainly wasn't an easy decision for him to take. And it couldn't have been a personal decision to take. So if as the leader, he comes out and he says, Maza, I take full responsibility. Ejayesi and easy is the head that wears the crown. And so on that score, he has said so. Nobody can take it away from his mouth. But yes, the Kwesi Botwe committee is working. We are hoping that in due course, they will present their report. But while we are waiting for them, we are also working as elected officers. We are trying to rebrand and rebuild from the branch level through constituency, region, Beba National, near Atwaba, and see how we can reorganize this party. Oh, Debbie, no, so now we come out from. Oh, Debbie Minkaza. The truth of the matter is that in our constitution, early Congress, say your opposition, we should go to Congress early. So those who are calling for early Congress, they are only speaking the word of the Constitution. Except that the Constitution gives us processes we must follow before we go for that early Congress. And that's what we are following. So we are speaking the same language. You can't call for early Congress and want it to happen today. We are working with a Constitution. So they shouldn't worry. The early Congress will come, but let's follow the Constitution so that somebody doesn't take us to court that we are in breach of our own Constitution.
We report, Dr. Professor Kwesi Botwe report in count. In one word, who is it in Ghana for to amend this?
Don't forget, well, there was voter party. There was voter party. Oh, I can't tell. But there was a party. And that's what I said earlier on, that never take the electorate for granted. Never. In fact, you take the electorate for granted and you are finished. So they are smarter out there. Look, you know the textbooks that we read on finance, the Wall Street things that, Harvard Business School, Harvard Law School, Yale, blah, blah, blah. Do you know where those ideas come from? From the market. The women in Makola, Abu Brosho Kaishi, they have more business ideas than Harvard Business School. Yeah. I'm telling you. They are smarter on the street than those boys in Harvard and Yale and blah, 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 blah. Except that they cannot write a manual or write a book. So people pick those ideas and turn it into something else. So the fact that the person is selling tomatoes in Ukaisi Wabubru doesn't mean the person is not smart. I'm telling you. I'm telling you.
Your quarter says MPP lied to victory.
I mean, Mahamudu Bawumia, Dr. Mahamudu, His Excellency the Vice President, I mean, everybody knows.
And I also see, Makola Fono, the Omunimute. I say, now Harvard Fono could pick those things from the so-called
I'm not discounting what goes on in Harvard or in Yale, on Wall Street, exactly. All I'm saying is that that market woman in Okanshi is smarter business-wise than your Harvard your Harvard Business School graduate.
You call us so when they put Medina, so I'm
of course.
So they made that decision. That's why MPP won.
Yes, they made that decision. MPP won, but it has turned out that the decision was packaged with lies.
Lies, the minister.
Amasa, first of all, the voters register. Dr. Bawumia said it was overbloated with Togolese. He was never able to prove. Nana Akufo-Addo said, another president, His Excellency, said, we had over 1 million foreigners on the voters register. He was never able to prove. I know the Philippians 3:13. Philippians 3:13, check it here. Voters register the 100 days. Dr. Bawumia, Obianko Freo, baby, sorry, so the Ona was here, say, Mako Yisaman for if we goes to payroll. Say, Nyampa. Musimo employee nurses Ninja Organa. Say, Nyampa. So, the lies are catching up with them.
San throw away in Ghana for the Koto Abano. And alternatively, not only here by Fufro because.
No, Kwame, it's a mixture of things. They may not have trusted the MPP in any way. They may have believed that the MPP was lying.
So
like I said, they are smart.
MPP?
Don't forget that over 1 million people didn't vote. So don't forget that over 1 million people didn't vote. So let's just say that the MPP core base went out and voted.
And a voter party, of course, went this for.
And then the floating, the so-called floating vote.
But they're so complacent and say, NDC will win it. There's no need for me to.
There's some of it which comes from that school of thought. Some of them who thought that NDC will win anyway. And those of them who genuinely also said, look, we won't vote for our own party. And as we go around, we are picking that up. And the reasons are wide and varied. And genuine reasons, of course. Look, me, I wish we had won. But Nyako Pon Shishe and Yeni Padaseni Shishe. Minia, Kwame, you win here. Can you imagine, say, still now, Kennedy Japan, a position? Won to me, a position. Nanado ni Bawumia, and still, Omudin Trodeko. Must come back on mine. On mine because, look, Dede. What is someone we need crano? Not Delta Force and the Invisible Forces. So God in his own wisdom has allowed for the change. We have accepted it. We are now seeing the true colors of Nana Akufo-Addo. 110 ministers. Family, friends, and cronies government. Oko ministries, Oko departments and agencies. Babyana first, Ebiani MDP. Any line managers. And now apart from the MD, no. You will be 2-3 deputies. And some line managers. So they are over-bloating the government payroll at that level. But essence no man for non-converting. So you will not know. The other day I was reading the graphic. Gifty Clenham, she's CEO of something. Ghana Export something. With her 2 deputies. I'm saying, wow. All political appointees. Family, friends, and cronies. People are crying. DVL Nano, Omoye Pamomo. Bridge Hospital Health Superintendent, Yapamno. So the one-ton.
Permanent transfer. No?
Well, I'm telling you that when Professor Mills allowed DCs, President Kufuor's DCs, to stay in power, in office for at least 6 months, because he wanted a smooth transition. We are mobile Haji Alima Mahama, even government appointees, get out of the place. Why? Today, for the first time, administrator of the DACF, District Assembly Common Fund, one of the man and say, Natoshi, MPP, former MP for
West MP.
God damn it. What are we talking about? So they cannot even hide it small. So a pure politician is now managing the DACF.
Good. And whenever there's a change of government, there's a whole lot of changes.
Look, Kwame, I'm not doubting that. There are some positions that we know that are political appointments, but the administrator of the Common Fund too, Abba.
Politicians, Mudjing or man can come. Say, okay, this is it. You ever say about them? Koku party wa bema if you say ekoyema one or the other. But Mudjing or man because there's this belief say it's a party oppositioner and o man fan when they are in power. No.
Well, this question, why you your mind? I'm sure Bisana Nakufo when the MPP before the Kromaka just your mind. Aha. Mustafa Hamid Becker just said you're appointing 110 ministers because you're doing your mind. Civil servants, public servants, Omobokro no do. Until you're doing your mind. Until they're appointing more ministers, some ministers no be supervising the work of the public servants. No man, mind. That is his thinking.
No, is it right?
I mean, it's ludicrous. I mean, how? Of course, the president himself maybe also went ahead and said the bokro no do petitive we are there with milk ni meal only one. See, this morning papers which I will say corruption or be fighting corruption.
Obey.
The a friend and a humacheka just say is own fini here. But see, Kwame, there's also the moral side of corruption. It's only about stealing. There's moral corruption.
And
110 ministers is immoral. What you are doing over appointing people at the departments and agencies is immoral. It's all corruption. But you see, when I listen to the soundbite and the way he was speaking and the way he was just laughing, I saw that they need diagro. Okay, time President Mills, the Nibria or call them habo. A Nibria they call so-called corruption. We all saw the results. But where was Sierra Leone, baby?
And we was as an ecosystem. Well, as I'm talking now, say you're interdicting customs officers.
Well, that is it. But I'm saying that how sincere is the president? Was he just joking? Because if you listen to the soundbite, he was like, oh, he was just having fun somewhere.
Would you joke if you find yourself in that position?
I won't joke.
When he was president, he was addressing the nation, he put in a smile.
I was just doing a situation analysis as opposed to a content analysis, a situation analysis. Even the forum, the attitude, the gestures also speaks volumes. That's a non-verbal communication. So, if he means well, I've said it somewhere this morning, if he indeed means well and he succeeds, shall clap for him.
Kogu says NDC, nipa not that or the hospital and can hold the same.
NDC. Oh, yeah. Because ni hear say doctor for who ya ayareko am want to say yare no.
The doctor and the professor go sibotwe.
Ya nyana defeat no.
So do on the diagnose yare no.
Amount for na diagnose yare ne deda.
Ebi ni dey.
Enti doctor Kosibotwe dey beka say ono oye smafo. Diagnosis in the microphone here. And to one is a lab technician.
No one Mpu no ye.
Oh, Debbie. The NDC people know why they didn't go out to vote. And so they are giving that information to Dr. Kosibotwe. And we are happy that that committee is working, Kwame. Because Dr. Kosibotwe committee no call a pro. And there will be MPA Babonting. And no Mumenya Kitakudia. And Kabidi Misabe Gumitusi Boy Yewu. But the fact say amount for AP that is the beginning of the healing process.
But there were one or two clashes
the early days. In fact, it was a clamor. The thinking was that But actually, be a more kind, say, Asa.
What do you make of? I don't want to say, more executives in the bureaucracy, can be another somebody for baby Kraman from the Bishop Mutumiande.
Oh, Kwame, I'm sure it's the early days of the defeat. When was the last time you heard those things on radio again? I mean, the early days, the band is Masa. So people will say all kinds of things. A bibe nukre, a bibe busrimka, a bibe atisem. But it's all part of the healing process. Let's let out the negative steam, bottle up the positive one, and that is the energy that we shall run into the 2020. As I speak to you now, the whole of this week near Elmina, a career program under the auspices of the UNDP. I did draw up policies on gender and communication, and I can say that very fantastic. So we are working and we are getting ready for 2020. Aluta continua.
We are sure 2020 NDC, Baba.
Yeah, but
why would Ghanaians vote for NDC in 2020?
The very reasons why they didn't vote for NDC in 2016 is the reasons why they won't vote for the MPP in 2020.
There's this perception said
it's going to be a one-term government.
Yes.
It's going to be a one-term government. Look, Ghanaians are smart, like I'm saying. If they were able to give the NDC a one-term government, they will give Akufo-Addo a one-term government. Master, people are already disappointed.
$1 million every constituency.
Anyway, the last time I heard
one district,
listen,
one factory.
This $1 million caught me anywhere, and let Dr. Baumia come and deny it. That is 100-day thing he did. When Dr. Baumia was asked about $1 million, you know what he said? $1 million is the same way I will kind. Dr. Baumia said, almost $1 million. Sika. Must go back. No more their call. Constituency.
Okay, so we go Ghana must go back. And I want to work on.
Or some of the back.
The office and go Ghana must go back.
Sarah Maker.
No, you are doing okay,
now 100 days where a press conference Bisan said, Doctor, and then Vice President, $1 million no oyende. Or see, so be feel say $1 million air back constituency be I'm a more chady every idea omoboa. Nasikano, a better account. Our Bank of Ghana. Now who are open BB to say ambulance? Which robber near your assessment now? Near to ambulance no, near their bro constituency. But you can't dear Emba will be in VND. Those were his words. So $1 million a constituency.
Just Canada Bank, you can only access it.
Please. Is that what they told us? They made us believe that the cash will go. In fact, in Tokobe Bebe, I cost DC ni MC, you know. Because of the $1 million. Obia person in Nipa Kwashe. Now $1 million no bar, Baza. Kokufu ball, who any my parcel.
Yes, son of politics there.
And yes, I was it here.
But currently, sanity.
Oh, so it is happening. It is happening. Who any my parcel. Masa, Okwa, Gloria Kufu, Sofa Kufu, a Cropon side. A Chim side, no, Chebi side, no, Nemami side, no, Atachia, Uforiata, Amwakwetia, Asanti Bedietu, Gabi, no, Masa. Watch it.
Father side, mother side. They are related. It's like Obi or qualified near the man.
No problem. Ochina Kwame. Usuba. No watch father side. Maybe Mami free Anyako. Me papa free Tanibe. Into Ochina me ban ma cheni na ma Tanibe Anyako.
You're talking about Papa Mami. Who told you say on family name?
I'm the third of 7 siblings. Yeah, I'm the third of 7 siblings. Two elder brothers. Then a brother just after me, a sister, and then 2 other brothers.
Papa is a major general. And known as so we do Audrey and answer.
Oh well, I can't help but thank him for the upbringing. I mean, very solid. Brano. Oh yeah, I mean, we are available. We meet at the village. Most of the time, is in the village. So I can only thank him for a good upbringing in Bema camp, and it was good. Of course, I lost my mother in 1993. May her soul rest in perfect peace, Auntie Mercy. But hey, we are soldiering on.
Baby, I would dream. Are you living your dream life? Say, I didn't share any. We say, well, you rise through the ranks, and one day it becomes who you are today, Deputy General Secretary of the largest opposition party.
Honestly, I mean, I didn't doubt growing up that God had endowed me with 1 or 2 things that if I manage well, like I said, as a young boy, I thought I would end up as a pastor. Me penny pass him. Me pedom.
As one can young for because I send me a become be any so Koku Anyidoho.
Kwabe, you do a content analysis of the interviews I've been granting how many years? Maybe 15, 16 years. There are one or two of them where I can admit that maybe there was a little bit of but when people decide that they're going to brand you in a certain way, but Kwame, there are many more people out there who are very excited with my style and what I do. I'm not saying that I get it right all the time, but I'm saying that I love the simpler side of life. And politics allows me to enjoy the simpler side of life.
I see.
And when I say the simpler side of life, just being out there with the people, under some tree, having a chat. You won't believe that up to now, I still take taxi and trotro sometimes. The trotro I have stopped because then too many people identify you, and what I want to achieve, I don't get to achieve.
What do you want to achieve?
I want to know what's going on.
Yeah,
but the trotro now is like, that's why for the longest time, I hardly do TV. I prefer radio to TV. Radio keeps you behind the scenes. TV, so only me. And it's interesting when you pick a cab and the driver doesn't know you and you're just engaging. You hear a lot of things. That's why I say that. No, of course, a lot of it, some of it also is very interesting because I found myself in a taxi cab once, and then there was a news item. My name was mentioned. Koku Anyidoho, Bodamfo. Oh, Bodamfo. Sa papa no minya na bo me just me boni to ekunu one time. Hey, I'm saying then why? Oh, how people for crowd do? Oh, how people I see. So when I got to the destination, then I paid him. Then I showed him my NDC ID card.
See.
Oh, Uli! Oh, Radia Kupo. Fachami, I was no problem. So it's interesting. People don't know me actually.
Bakubi a news portal, I think modernghana.com. Also, Koku Anyidoho say, number one, Udra President Kufo, who President Kufo Kwana Nebuofu, Mahama, an error as a president. Nana Kufuor, the president won't need that. No free asset. Did you really say those things?
People just hide behind social media, put out all kinds of things. Their main and like I said, I've gotten used to.
Yeah, but sometimes also about on table clear with this.
Actually, it's true. Somebody also advised me the other time. But you see, Kwame, there's so many of it out there. So me say me dey no be ye adwuma. And you also me papa no to me because almost sheda boapayo. Let's throw this red herring. Then he will go chasing the red herring and forget about the bigger thing. And so I'm not going to waste my time chasing the red herring. I will stay focused because I know what you are trying to achieve. You won't get me.
I know crazy time when now war presidency na Professor Mills won na me fa ne crancy. Now we ma ho so pushing comfort to the one tea. I bro free mu na e picture bi na wo de yintuma na wusu nyina so position e be free won sa no.
Oh, Kwame, the people who know me are there. Even the press people who work with us, you can check from them. And I'm a kind of people create and craft all kinds of things. Now no will be sending me text message or say I'm so and so in Medina. I don't like you.
Hey.
But people say you are a good person. And I replied back and I said, I'm happy you don't like me. If everybody likes me, then I'm not normal.
It's trouble for you.
Some must not like me. And I'm happy you don't like me. But if you say people say I'm a good person, well, fine. It's a testimony. It's like when we're going for this Congress, Kwame. I'm sure people sat in their rooms and did analysis. It was only between me and my God and the delegates.
You knew you would win.
Kwame, NDC has a spirit. If you live according to the spirit of the NDC will reward you. Our party people are very discerning. And I salute our party people. They're very discerning. They know the people they want them to lead them. It's not you who determine who will lead them. No. They know the people they want to lead them. They know what they're looking for in their leaders.
Professor Mills ne lead the NDC the last elections and Combo winning.
I don't want to go into that conjecture. It never happened, so let's just forget about it. I don't want to go into that conjecture. Why President Mills led us into
people were saying said there was something wrong with the leadership.
I won't go there. Why President Mills led us in 2000, we lost. So he's lost an election.
The dynamics need different.
No, I don't want to walk into that dark alley. You know, I don't want to engage in some labyrinthine discussion, some hundious discussion. Master, we've lost an election. We consider defeat. We are rebuilding. And we intend to be a very responsible opposition, keep the government on its toes, repackage ourselves, and come back in 2020. In fact, on the 10th of June, the NDC is going to be 25 years. On the 10th of June, 25 years of the NDC. Here to me, we are a mature political party. That's a quarter of a century, 25 years. So we're coming up with some activities, and we shall come out of it stronger, I believe.
So the NDC we knew before this election.
And I'm happy that you see a number of the young guys that I operated with in the election time. And kudos to all of them, those who know themselves and those who don't know themselves. I've not heard that any of them has defected anyway. But on a daily basis,
such stories no entire Mabra to about defection about that year and as a month I to about say 300 people have defected.
Now the point I'm trying to make is the spirit and the energy in them. It hasn't dwindled. They call you, oh boss, we want to help. What can we do? So I think that the future of this party looks very, very bright with the kind of energy that we have behind us, the youth front. We can do a lot. The women's front, from the intellectual academia, people who are ready to come on board. This party will live. This party will survive. I'm telling you.
One school of thought is to say, I say a case of corruption party the for NDC. And I would TB.
Oh, Kwame, TTTP. But you see, let me also commend the media. I'm sure people will not be too happy, but hey, man, I think that you have done well so far.
Thank you.
The MPP government has not, the current one. In 2000, it was different. The dynamics were different. When you had the coffee shop mafia, and they could do all kinds of things and, you know, try to destroy the media atmosphere. This time is difficult. And so the MPP government has not been able to get away. Yeah, with wrongdoing. All these Delta Force, invisible forces, 2.25 billion bond. I think we are doing well as a country. We will grow. It's early days yet, but we will grow.
But my question is, this perception say, corruption, the NDC for a corrupt
it's something that the MPP put out in the past, especially between 92 and 2000. They hadn't come to power before. So it was easy for them to say all kinds of things. But after 2000, President Kufuor up to 2008, they have their own history of corruption. And if you look at the way Nana Akufo-Addo has begun, obviously his is going to be worse and monumental.
Is that what you're praying for?
I'm not praying for that. But he will bring it upon himself.
Because social stories, Koku this week said $1.2 million Ghana Standard boss.
Yes, Kwame.
I didn't take our contract.
I agree.
National Communications Authority.
Master, can you imagine?
It happened in your era.
Yes, can you imagine? As Professor Mills used to say, I really don't care whose ox is God. Yes. I really don't care whose ox is God. Nobody, no individual, no government has a right to plunder and loot the state resources. It's not on. You see, Kwame, and then this perception say all politicians are corrupt. My fear is that if we are not careful, there's going to be a people's revolution. A people's revolution, a people's revolt against all politicians one of these days.
Are you corrupt? You as a politician?
If a few people, if the majority of politicians don't come up and hold hands collectively and condemn corruption, they will think that we are all corrupt. And one day, the people will rise up against us. I'm telling you. And we don't want that. We don't want that. I mean, it's not on. It is not on. You seek the mandate to manage the affairs of state and to deliver on your promises. You didn't ask for mandate to steal and loot and plunder.
Koku, is it because your system, no, you're so loose, say, people take advantage of the loose?
It's not about Ghana. If you read it, if you go all over the world. Thank you. Thanks for the reminder.
Exactly, I like that. We can't walk over Samuels.
Exactly.
That's a plagiarism.
That's a good one.
Koku, what's on your romantic?
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Okasasa oniyire nti obabi antunufo na okasa saa basa.
As I said be my tisa. Yes, so kotunupa no numwi. Hey, but man the crowd emba. On numni we ni we a. Afi obi janis on stop. Me we. What's that? I'm not romantic. Oh my goodness. Is it? I don't want to say anything. Sometimes you want to joke, but you finish joking and in the headline that you get tomorrow. So let me be careful in my choice of words. Exactly. Actually, isn't romance? Isn't romance meant to be a closed door or something?
Well, my understanding.
It's supposed to be a personal thing, isn't it?
Oh, but it boils down to who you are.
How am I supposed to be romantic on the? Okay, I should get up and kiss you right now.
Oh, but what are you?
Of course. I have 4 kids, 2 girls and 2 boys.
One wife for how many years?
Oh, why do that's very personal.
No, this is personality profile show.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm not going to give full details. Actually, because of politics is so crazy that I don't like talking about my family.
My one could have 4.
I have 4 kids, 2 girls and 2 boys.
No extra classes, yeah.
2 girls, 2 boys, and they are doing very well.
Officially.
That's all I have.
Okay.
Unless somebody hasn't told me yet. But that's all I have. I mean, 2 boys, 2 girls, and I'm happy with them. I'm excited, and I love family life. I love to be in the village. I go there as often as I can do, both mother's side, father's side, and like I said, I have a deeply religious side of me. 16.
I don't know. Daddy, what is it that your name is all over the place?
Yeah. It happens. That is why I keep them away from the politics. But they ask. I mean, why wouldn't they ask? But it's not easy. It's not your kids alone. Friends, relatives. Because they go on the internet where there's a lot of rubbish. They didn't have the opportunity to hear your voice. But suddenly there's a story on the internet. Koku Anyidoho, Catholic Bishop Atem. Koku Anyidoho, Osofo Atem. That's what they get to read.
Can
you imagine? That interview I granted in the UK, I was rather making the point. Sometimes I'm not yaba fresh. All this team B noise. And Professor Mills need team B, blah, blah, blah. We are not jailing Kufuor and his people, blah, blah. And I was making the point that, look, Kufuor may have done a lot of wrong. But you cannot just get up and jail Kufuor. You have to use the systems and processes. So even if you see the face of Kufuor on the television, and you want to even break your TV set, fine, break your TV set. But that does not mean that you can just go and catch President Kufuor and throw him in jail. It had to do with the $41 million hotel and the Bano Toy. I don't know, Professor Mills, and prosecuting. And that was the point I was making. Daily Guide front page. I hate President Kufuor, Koku Anyidoho. Daily Guide.
You've never taken them on.
Daily Guide.
And I say, I don't know, for you to clear your name,
look, they can they can damage you when you look at yourself in the mirror in the morning. Look, it got to a point where Akusia, Omuka Tunis, I think on a daily basis, it had to be me. Like, but you see, you smile. The enemy may think that he's destroying you, but God is using that process to lift you up. This morning when I came, I was watching you and the bread seller.
Yeah.
So I'm like, this is his defining moment. Somebody may have thought that he was running him down on social media, that some graduate is selling bread. Today it is his defining moment. It's a new chapter. It's a turning point. He's gone to glory. 8 papers in the morning, Koku Anyidoho must go. He must be sacked. He must be this. He must be that. Of course, some of it internally orchestrated. Because, you see, I was telling you off air. As far back as 1993, when I left Lagos, I began to operate in the media. Long before privatization of the airwaves by. Among for nim, one more minimum media. And I'm so can't find one can't find I know lots of people. I have nurtured lots of people. I have trained lots of people. I have mentored lots of people. I have tutored lots of people. I have executively produced lots of programs. I have helped newspapers grow. And so, it is my world. I live in it. You go around and you think you are planting some story about me. I'll get to know anyway. But the fact that I don't ask you doesn't mean I don't know. It's because I don't want to waste my time on you. President Mills in the car now, Koku, know them, but don't let them know that you know them. That was one of the most profound things he told me. Koku, know them, but don't let them know that you know them.
Adi, why would people hate Koku Anyidoho?
No, it's human nature. Even out of 12 disciples, Judas betrayed Jesus Christ. It's human nature. Kwame.
It's not Oba President Mills.
Look, I'm saying that I remember telling you, Jinahin, when he was appointed director of communication, presidency, on air, Kasapa. Now I'm saying, Eugene, welcome to the club. People will dislike you and hate you for no apparent reason. Because you are close to the president. If they had that opportunity, they may have used it for something else. So they are out there thinking that once you have that opportunity, you are using it for those things. It's your town.
Kukumu hard and I'll go attack and say, if you dare.
Oh, no, dear, answer. Namaza. You have power. Na opese Usamia wuku to me press conference at Homachin say, Utimebunu Gumuna Mukwebasa. If you dare, the police will deal with you. If you dare, the police will deal with you.
Okay, I have some few questions here. Free Ebusia forms. Koku, we have a long way to go. First, with call Ison Mensa. First step, we need to get rid of all the executives, including national level, early as possible. Else, we should forget about 2020. Do you believe in that?
Well, first Echo.
Echo Ison Mensa.
Well, Echo, like I said earlier on, they have a point. They should just be patient. We use the processes. They will have the right to vote, and they will take the decision. If they want to clear everybody, the decision is for the voters. So they should just have patience. That we cannot do it out of 10. We must do it in tune with our party's constitution. Like I said, otherwise somebody will take us to court. That's
on paper, but personally, do you believe in that early Congress in Babua?
People want to feel healed, and they must be allowed to feel healed. Yeah.
Let's say, executives practically, it's
not easy to be a leader. You understand? And then you also leader, but you can't bedroom. So this committee is going around. Let them finish with their job, and I'm sure by next week we should have the report. Then we can move to phase 2.
David Anako say, I used to watch Koku, especially during when they were in power, but today it's a different Koku I'm saying. Please ask Koku for me that, is it because of how dirty our politics has become? That is why he behaves the way he behaves.
Who is that?
David Anako.
David. Since today I've changed.
Say, Dimi Nani very calm.
Well, David, I'm a man of many colors.
Chameleon.
Exactly. It helps you to survive in life. Sun Tzu, one of the great Chinese philosophers. In fact, the business world borrowed from his war strategy. Chinese warrior. And he says that the army that best mutates and changes its form is the army that is best likely to win the war. The army that remains static and is predictable loses the battle.
And this Koku Anyidoho I have this morning on my show. Was it because of UTV? And I said that is the real you person Kofu.
It's me. I'm saying people don't know me. When they get to know me, they're like, wow.
How do you hang out?
How do I hang out? Like I said, I don't like the big places. You won't see me in hotel lobbies and blah blah blah. I love when I'm driving out. If you are driving, you see me standing or just under some hut at some pawine place. Don't be surprised. That's the way I hang out. I have my calabash of pawine. I'm gone with some akrantie. Yesterday I was coming from Cape Coast. I bought some oche. Somewhere around Ekumfi, just freshly gamed from the bush. I got home, decided to just sort it out myself.
One on one. So you cook very well?
Yes, very, very well. When I'm in the mood.
What brings about the mood?
When I feel like it. Actually, when I was in school, well, growing up as boys, like I said, I have only one sister. And she was much younger than us.
Okay. So
we had to start doing everything as boys. We had to be like girls. So up until Form 5, I used to still carry corn on my head to go and grind. Yeah. I would leave Labadi Villas and go to Pawanjo to go and grind corn on my head. I used to carry it on my head. Go and come. I used to grind pepper on stone because those days there was no blender. Then the mori, I have to put the agbelimo and the amoku together. Put it on coal pot, put those two things by the pot, and then cook the akpele myself in the calabash. Add dakpla, add dari, fetidechi, soup, fufu. I have to pound fufu. So I do a lot. But you see, when you are growing, but in one of my relationships, my earlier relationships, I had a problem with the lady because she thought I was too much into the kitchen stuff. I thought I was being nice and surprising, but
exactly. Let me go on with the questions. I'll say, please let Koku Anyidoho be aware that he and his NDC are total failure to Ghanaians for 8 years in power, and they couldn't say nothing about Galamsey for 5 months. Just 5 months in power, Nanado is trying his best. They should relax. 2020, they will never come to power. From Bentel Williams.
Also, Canada. That's the beauty of democracy. He has spoken his mind. And I'm sure today he was like, yes, but that's going to excite him today. So I'm happy that he's excited.
But talking about 2020, does it matter who leads NDC?
The party is the vehicle, my brother. The party is the vehicle.
Because when you look at our body politics, I'll be to because hey, Akwano, no fool. You said it.
You see, Kwame, a lot of things go into making a leader. But don't forget that since 1992, the symbol of the umbrella has not changed at the EC. But the pictures of our candidates have changed. From President Rawlings through President Mills to President Mahama. Now, it tells you that the symbol of the party is what remains supreme. So let's get the party sorted out. From the branch, constituency, region, and national. A leader will emerge on the wings of a strong party. But bring the best of leaders. And if the vehicle is weak, we may be in trouble. So
it doesn't matter who becomes the flag bearer.
Party first. Party first. It's the party.
One thing, Professor
why do you want to go there? Why do you want to go there?
Koku Anyidoho is here. He's the Deputy General Secretary of the NDC. He represents NDC. And he be a chairman about NDC.
We were talking about girlfriends and boyfriends, and we have moved into this thing again.
They said you are not romantic. You are not able to prove to me so you're romantic. One guy named Sebi or girl be attending did in Komoka crack. I don't kind.
Now only me girls said, do I want a piece of Emma?
And you good morning, just and now you go beyond that.
Me, you don't do more piece of them.
Or girlfriends are now wearing them.
The only Masa. Bema make kaka kansemo.
You say you didn't come out. Why FIFA channel?
Yo, Masa, who can't talk because maybe I want to despite and I say Father Dixon. I can say, hey, Aquawe.
I say me fear.
I'm telling you.
Well, it's a joke.
That what? No, I have a lot of good friends here. I have a lot of friends in the media.
Hello, hi.
A lot of friends in the media. A lot of friends in the media.
But apart from wife, who was a special person, we always a female. Sometimes you.
Ona magana kena.
Akana Jazaku.
Akana kada.
Okay, that's why you were quoted as saying, say, the vice president is
Mutu Banza. Wallahi Mutu Banza ni.
Mutu Banza.
Gaskiya ni. Wallahi Mutu Banza.
Very cool. Kasa Mutu Banza zagi ni, it's an insult.
Bazagi ni.
Kasa Mutu Banza is ni parfum. Me yezama Mutu Banza.
We didn't talk too much.
Intro. As well, Koku Anyidoho. UTV is an intro. Bekeriani. And Keriani is a bit diplomatic.
To.
Bamakachi Mutu Banza yazama zagi.
To. Be use Mutu Banza. Now use Mekaria.
Kata was on Zongo. For how many years?
You see, the guy is letting me expose myself.
It's okay.
I'm exposing some of my weapons of warfare. No, in Burma camp, one of my very good friends, may he so rest in peace, Abdul Hakim. In fact, he's the first friend I made on earth. Abdul Hakim Seidu Ayuma. Okay. Nane Papa so here, military officer, Colonel Seidu Ayuma. I mean, Stefan knows him very well. Very good friend. So that's why I picked up the Hausa from. You know, those days if you go, you have to go and eat TZ, and Biba's TZ, and so it was a exciting moment.
He was a Muslim.
Yes.
And Muslim for Bashar Ramadan. I think
Seidu.
Maybe today or tomorrow they'll start. But Koku, let me ask this question. I'll say, please ask Koku about his relationship with President Nana-Addo and whether he has good friends in the MPP.
Hey.
Kwame Kingsley, Offenso,
I have lots of friends in the. I said, Master, this thing is not war. Why we were in school together. We were born, we lived together, we grew up together, we go to church together. You know one of my very good friends in the MPP?
No.
Sir John.
Sir.
He's a very good friend.
Forestry Commission Executive Director.
But Sir John is my very good, and I cannot deny him on air. He's my good friend. And I have so many of them like that. Dambocho is somebody I respect a lot. John Boedu. He and I used to roll out for so many years in around Mamprobi, Kolebu areas. And
then he made a statement some time ago when you were saying, say, Nana don't have fit. You know, can't say, I'm behind on people more Juma. No one swan and I do not in the call.
Well.
What?
No, I mean, we have friends on that. I mean, George Anda, Deputy Communications Minister. And a Wutu member of Parliament. When Achimota School together, year mates. Charles Eduboy, Deputy Finance Minister. When Achimota School, in his case, we're in the same house, Livingston House together. And we're on the same Livingston House platform. But fast forward, why not? Everything you did was not good. Why not? Why not? I mean, I still have many of them on that side. Those who are frontline, those who pretend that they are not, but they are. And so we mix. It's not about war. It's about exchange of ideas. And you see us when we meet together and we're having fun and taking a swipe at each other. I mean, like taking the mickey out of each other. It's interesting. I have lots of friends, both male and female on the MPP side. On the female side, I won't mention the names. Anyway, Obi Kachem said, Koku Anyidoho, we can calling seven. We had say, when you be a Sabio, we share the cool school doing movie as a. Yeah, people think that people think that I'm some. I don't know, but it's good. At least today, people know that I'm not some dropout. You understand? So I'm feeling now. Yeah. So they're not the dropout. We just do our work with a passion. You know?
Also Ghana, the electorate, we are very sophisticated and you don't have to take us for granted. Do you come to the mainstream of politics to solve societal problems and now to enrich yourself?
You see, Kwame, it's a profession. It's a profession. full time, in spite of all our degrees, our masters, whatever, PhD. For those of us who have taken it as a profession, I cannot see myself. Look, I've got office after this election. In fact, after Professor Mills passed on, I hate to use the word died. Professor Mills' car baby.
By the way, what's not about us, which is also a son that Oba or Gusoba.
Wajai. 5 years, Abba. The first year, the first 2 years.
To how many times?
Oh, Kwabe.
Who died, I know you. But I saw so that I was so true. Was another the album.
Oh, Koku Anyidoho. I have a character. No. Professor Muska, baby, no. I got about 3 offers. 2 from international media houses and 1 from some international consultancy firm. Like I said, one has a profession, one has worked, one has experience. And you know, outside, abroad, by this time, I should be earning big dollars speaking. And they charge by the minute. Because the experience that one has gathered. If as I sit here now, somebody's prepared to pay me some huge amount of money to buy the rights for a book that I'm writing.
The last time I checked, that's what actual 100 pages on.
Yeah.
You see, you have account.
Yeah, and then I have my own blog, WordPress. There, if you go, full of articles. I'm going to turn that one also into a book by the end of the year. Have my own number on it, ISBN number. So there's a lot of money one can make out of one's own intellectual property. So it's not for lack of job that one is doing for politics full time. So, but it's a vocation, it's a profession, and one has to get involved deeply, and that's the only way you can succeed.
And in general, what is the objective where politics? I mean,
I think that is just to serve, and the informal aspect of it, the challenges. Now, 8 years, 9 years, 10 years in the bank. It became very sedentary and monotonous. I could predict, say, if I go to the office in the morning, as a dealer, I have to pick up first of all, I have to check my balance, my BOG balance, look at whatever. I need to start calling onto the market, looking for money to borrow on the market. Or if I have excess, I have to start looking for how to place the money and all those things. If I don't get from the market, I have to go to BOG for a repo, which is a repurchase agreement, to balance my what do you call it, my position. So I can predict that in the next 10 years, that's what I'll be doing. It becomes boring.
You say now,
I'm doing politics.
And how is it done? I mean, that's it. No. My friend Peace FM.
How is it done? I don't call. In all humility, you see people who call me. But what I do is that I dedicate myself to the job. I don't discriminate. Even on Man FM, I speak on Man FM. So, they will insult me, but so what? They want information. At the time that they want information, let them come, I'll give it to them. And you have no idea the number of radio stations I speak to in a day outside Accra.
I must commend you on that. Your politicians be what I say. Political landscape is almost but Koku or Abemuni flashing a cover for back, and my production team so on that.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Maybe as well ready. Politicians be a J. We for us about topic ben. The way they mean ready you meet Koku baby.
Thank you. So I'm humble. So it's a full-time job. So I need to keep my antenna up.
And you get paid as a deputy general secretary?
You don't get paid. You get rewarded.
So how do you get? I mean,
no, you get rewarded. When I say you don't get paid, but you get rewarded.
Or your husband, or your father, you need to put 3 square meters on a day on the table.
One does other things on the side.
Okay.
Like I have a working history. I've built certain inbuilt mechanisms. I remember when I had to leave the bank in 2005 fully to do full-time politics for Professor Mills. When he called me that morning, Koku. Say yes, sir. You see, earlier on he had asked Nila and Tibanapo to call me. Then he himself called. He said, Koku, I'm looking for somebody to work for me. as my director of communications, I've been thinking, and I want you to work. Will you do it? I said, yes, sir, I'll do it. He said, are you sure? I said, yes. Koku, I don't have money. Oh. I said, this call to work for you is worth millions if I manage the process well. And so say, this call, I'll work for you. Of course, at that time, I was also looking for a way out of the banking industry. I was, I was up to this place. And then I was also doing a second master's program at the School of Communication Studies and MA in Communication Studies, because I have this innate thing in me, communications, PR, good writing skills. I mean, it comes in the family. Professor Anyidoho and all those people. I mean, my father has 2 or 3 books he wrote personally to his name. The Journey, which is his autobiography, then Guns of Kigali, which was his personal experience when he was the Deputy UN Force Commander for UNAMIR, United Nations Assistance Mission in Rwanda, when the genocide broke out in '94. So there's a lot that one is able to do with his thoughts.
I don't know what I'm wrong, because sometimes this is my final question.
And so, I have a very comical aspect of me as well. Really? In fact, there are times when I have attempted to do sit-up comedy. But then I've been held back by 1 or 2 things. Yes. If you sit with me for 30 minutes, you see, the people are laughing already. The people are laughing. I love fun, the fun side of it.
The boo, one of them out.
I don't know what came over him. So that time, no, Adum FM. And Adakabre used to be a very hostile interviewer. And also, because of my training in the media, I know all the hostile people. But they don't know I know that they are hostile.
Am I hostile?
No, you're not hostile. You're very friendly. In fact, I'm very, very, very pleased. I mean, pleased with the way you've handled it. You're very hostile on Adum. And the more you are hostile, the more I like to engage you. Because I can realize that you want to bring me down and break me down. But every time I'm on top of the game, you can never bring me down. So you're always itching to interview me. Because then you also...
It's about squeezing the news, the information out of the person.
No. There's hostility. And so he did it. Then one day he decided to call me the boo. And I believe that maybe at that time he wanted to have maybe said bulu, but he didn't finish saying the bulu.
Sana Wufi said bulu in Galanguage.
Then boo. And then he left it at that. And maybe also thinking that, oh, the bull was going to come out. You know, people think that the bull is a headless animal. And that you can use the bull for bullfighting.
Or the tip and
exactly.
Need direction.
That's one. Exactly. But it's also an animal that is used to work. It plows. It plows and it tills. So let's just say that in my political life, I plow and I till. And until you plow and you till, you cannot sow seeds for the seeds to germinate. So yes, I give Adakabre credit for being the one who gave me this epithet of the bull. I don't normally use it myself, but it has come to stay. And then it's like a nickname you don't want. The more even you try to clean it up, the more it will stay.
To say the bull has come to stay.
It has. Oh yes, it has come to stay, and I think that there's nothing derogatory about it at all. No. Actually, if anybody out there thinks that I'm a bull in the literal sense, and I'm headless,
are you?
I'm not. If I were, I would not be sitting in your studio this morning.
If I
were, I wouldn't be a director of communications for a presidential candidate. If I were, I wouldn't be a communications person, a director, a spokesperson for a sitting president of no other republic than Kwame Nkrumah's Ghana. It takes somebody who thinks. So there are many aspects of me I'll be bullish about my work when I want results. So I've given an assignment and I say, I want. I'll be bullish in my defense of what is the truth, what I believe is the truth. I had to be bullish in defense of President Mills. He wasn't going to do it himself. Somebody had to do it for him.
I say you earned the position of head of communication at the presidency at that time because of your relationship with Professor Mills.
Yes.
So when the baton changed and President Mahama came,
I was still head of communications for President Mahama.
Really?
Until January 7th, 2013. When President Mills passed on in July, I stayed on till December, till after the election. So it was after the 2013 swearing in, then the what do you call it? The things changed. But you see, Kwame, and maybe this is an opportunity to say it. Why? Why do people think that I will be hurt because I didn't maintain my position as director of communications at the presidency? I was given options.
By who?
By President Mahama.
So
People don't know. You see, people don't know. President Mahama actually at the time sent his chief of staff, Professor Bani, to me. So there is no animosity.
Chief Prosper Bani Mebusa said, Koku, what
do you want to do?
One gets over to us or say, what do you want to do?
Fine, but then still, and I gave my options.
Now, rationally, you could have chosen your resistant position.
My brother, you know, the Bible says that man, know thyself. And there's an underlying principle that I operate with. I don't know how to undermine. I don't know how to betray. But I'm truthful to myself on a number of issues. Like I told you earlier on, this business, you have to really be in sync and be in tune. Look at Sean Spicer. At the White House with President Trump. Look at the way they are dancing over each other on issues. I'm not too sure how Spicer knows. Is that his name? Whatever.
So for you to serve under a particular president, there should be some chemistry.
That's what I believe.
And there was no chemistry between you and Mahama.
I'm saying that the closeness between President. I just told you how President Mills called me. Koku, do you want to work for me? That is it. And let's also understand that times change. And every leader has people that he's comfortable with. And let's grant them that. You cannot take anything away from that.
Was it a matter of President Mahama was not comfortable with you and
I'm not saying so. I'm saying that as vice president, he certainly had his team. You understand? As MP, people he has working with over the years. So why force him not to? No. The important thing is that together as a collective, no matter where you find yourself, continue to remain loyal to the system. It's the system that produces all of us. Kwame. We didn't produce the system.
Koku, so what is some program? No camera for
sorry, about your patching. A Amanyoko NDC no. And Amayena Aquina. I say Bentiane Yenya Ejuma Ye. Amanyo no ni ho a unya sa Aquina no. Enti na the brabiest unya amanyo no ma eye wo de kroje.
Eye den de be free unsa.
A free unsa no be for ba. Wo dia ni se wo be support anaso be boa. Amanyo no ada ho ananti atumpon akonani. That's all.
So twi ni ba kama pa.
Exactly. O twi dem me ade.
Who you care about?
Twi dem me ade, you know. Of course, I say I been no titwi say. I been no titwi na no ya. And what titwi na odi didi ya atem and obu benyina. Only one of my best programs I pay ever radio so.
Yeah.
Utibe o. Mr. Mutibe.
Nana Jessica
Papa.
When a piece of film.
Sunday, 6:30 to 7 in Fendiagro. So, and that is me. When I want to do something and learn something, I go the extra mile. So somebody will ask, into the program here there. Or because a crossing program, but a crossing program. I'm telling you. And a Jessica Pa, then a palm for. Now, omuchre ebebunum nientia sa bewe baye baby a free baye masa, because the richness of every language is in the proverbs. Me one crime programs bia ewo obonu other stations those days Vibe FM no more bakubi no more on Sunday area 1 p.m. going me point sorry when I'm radio no. So if you don't know somebody and you don't know why somebody is excelling in life, don't just sit by and get jealous. I'm telling you. I was born into the Evangelical Presbyterian Church. Yebomi Esuti Anasanya Sanaka. Yebomi EP Church, Accra New Town. One Messiah confirmation war. EP Church, Accra New Town. And currently I worship at EP Church, Dansoma.
Oh yeah, regular now.
In fact, as I speak to you today, from here, I think our West Presbytery Synod, this year, I was Dansoma EP Church. So I'm going to pass the synod.
Now, so where then?
Near Lehman. Kwame, like I said, I have my quiet side and my very quiet moments. Media say, Master, politics in tea, and Nekoku, Ochina Koku, Radio Koku, TV Koku. Mekwa sorry, other than Misako G was sorry, Sebi. Let others also have the opportunity.
That's what they get Jinka, Osha BB.
Oh, well.
Committee, be so Sunday school teacher.
Well, I go and sit in the back row. I contribute what I have to contribute. And you see, it's also about the time. Who called you Sunday school teacher? No, when you're timer. Say Juma we are, and then onam ha, ochina onama, and then onama ochina onamano. Who called you bosswa? Eba.
Tumbeso beja bosso.
Oma be chairman function be cram in pet. I'll contribute everything, whatever I have to do, contribute my quota in terms of finance, whatever ideas. But no, let me just come and worship quietly, finish, interact, and then move away. So, but I hear in the village rather that they are planning to make me at Intanibe.
What you saying?
To make me a session member. So, like, when I'm a session member in the session, they say, Mona, church administration, apart from the pastor, I know the head of the.
And the OBG.
Maybe it's about time that I took up some role. A session member is okay.
Okay, some politicians, you take advantage of a voting pattern. There's this understanding that one, after 8 years, do you buy into that? And
look, personally, this whole thing called democracy, apart from it being expensive, one reason why I don't like the UP tradition. Saying I mean pay UP for, I do move for, and Omabedani Dankwa Buzia MPP for. Me feel say Omujai Kwame Nkrumah Akunyaso Omo endi na bro endi omaina bro anya omambofo omanko CIA for mama ntu Kwame Nkrumah address so 66 no and Omujai Kwame Nkrumah another 5 years 6 years 7 years Kwame and can you say me know and then a bo a friend is a ball who deuru and a bo a school park who deuru because we share vision na Kwame Nkrumah no woman or mine and factories and silos and industries but okay Omeka say yes President Rawlings and the buyer no be creative diversity and no tonton state assets no but you see Kwame after the 66 school a mo pe Kwame Nkrumah abono edimboni se nipa ya de they began running down all the state agencies and the state businesses that Kwame Nkrumah had created. A deliberate, conscious thing by the Buzia regime. Yes, to run down the state assets. So by 72, when Kwame, a friend is saying, a champion no buy it be 2 more ideas or no. Between that period, what Buzia and Dankwa And then Nana Akufo-Addo, Papa said, ceremonial president. What they had done to the state enterprises, you have no idea. Now, the military regime, between 72 and then 79, when Rawlings came for the first time, had also not done enough. Because the poison that the Buzia Dankwa people put in 69 to 72 was so invidious. Say, it was difficult. So by the time Rawlings came in 81, when the economy was totally collapsed, there was no option but to go into a divestiture. So let us set the record straight. Rawlings did not come and collapse those enterprises and sell the enterprises or divest the enterprises. The enterprises were destroyed and collapsed by the Buzia regime, 69 to 72. So let's get the history right. That is why I can never like the UP tradition. Ghana would have been developed beyond what we are seeing with our eyes today.
I know the
Oh yes,
I mean,
of course.
we can't right the wrongs of yesterday.
Yeah.
And Koku, who say Nana Akufo-Addo na demonstration MPP ometima Ghana ye?
Oh, Kwame. The people money pe. But the can say.
There's some opposition abesa bani feeling nanka.
No. To be highly responsible on my part, say abiding failing na yembra power.
No. Koku sabana failing ambassador 2020. Dia na mo de koye kan.
It's not about failure, Kwame. It's more about say abino. Ebe to me di ni portion so.
Say no failure na beba na say failure to live up to your
well, that's what I'm saying. And yes, I mean I'm a bompaye. Say mo mundi omo portion so. But dia omo to me di portion so no. And I be how mo.
But who should submit me this?
Kwame.
One district, one factory, $1 million US.
Say the kind
free SHS.
And I make us $1 million no na Dr. Baumia, assistant Nanui, DKM customers, and
was it a political promise? Was it in the manifesto?
Look, oh, this even free education, my brother. Tell me honestly, can we really do free education across the board? And it's a now feeding grant, he crying to me in coin. Now all secondary schools in Ghana, free education, Form 1 to Form 3, everything free. Living PTA dues, cry and GBU. What are we talking about?
Was this September was started with the Bomoko first year?
Look, well, let them start and let's see. But honestly, I don't see how they're going to be able.
You don't wish them well.
I wish them well, but their lives will catch up with them. You tell me, free education, Kwame, free chopbox, free trunks, free blanket,
free chopbox,
It's the free education.
Our school fees need free, dining hall fee free, no watchman fee, no PTA fee, no one fee.
Oh, but trunk the chopbox is better.
That's how now to go back to trunk the chopbox.
Hey, what my tia say be free?
There we are, Gaza.
Are you? Anyway, I love you.
A crow.
Careful, almost.
Who could you plan up?
Kotumri. Abum. I can eat kotumri with anything,
including fufu.
No, unless it's a green soup.
So, Kokumasi could do fufu. We might be on so.
I work here. And I'm mummy a prekese gusu mami.
Una can so far. Una can so far.
And only chop bar run. I work here piano. Omo form a group B. And Koku boy the work commercia. No, the work okay apia. No, by Assistant Yamana good there in the summer. Prekese kese se. Would you be near my bill no? Bill ni say. Would you we are? Na Koku boy and fawechi. Na ko jisi kan bi efe mame no. Juma Koku boy yedi no.
Corruption dey be no.
I'm telling you. Koku boy, Juma odi no.
Kongo we have a chat. Good morning. Eti Ogoya when you feel like quite na fie ni family ni you know mama you feel like they have a father and a husband they feel.
Yeah, I try and make time.
It's averagely a week.
I try and make time. I try and drop them at school when I can. Yeah, I try and see if they are awake when I can. Yeah, I do what I have to do.
Father Ben now, yeah.
You see, times have changed. Some time ago, a bit trauma, the belt, bit trauma cheap, the bro, say. I still believe in a bit of that discipline. It was smoking be.
Hey.
Oh, I mean, no.
One thing will be other.
Oh, once in a while, back could be. But you see, what I've come to realize is that in parenting, when we were growing up as kids, and I say, you know, tell me what ubu to me fu papa, and I'm a boy. Now ubu fu mommy, because if you're my bibia, or money, some many parents any, from some
yeah.
Now, what I've come to learn in parenting is that the ability as a parent to accept when you have wronged your child, it helps a lot. That is my personal philosophy. It's not, you're not begging your children, but you see, why are they there? Kwame, I'm sorry. Kofi, I'm sorry. It for me, it is very healing. But if you saw your parent, oh, they won't from so. And I say, any down, unim sa dia wa ye. Nanka wasa wo ye. And nan korano boefu o mo nwini. But me papa me nka sorry da. If you're not careful, there are a lot of vagabonds out there. A lot of people on the streets. That's how they left home. Maybe a sorry from a father, a sorry from a mother could have healed, but they didn't get it. And no we are namno. And no we are sikano. But watching now Bruna so no we are sikano or no we are namno. Later on discover saying no we are here. Or no so ni. Say uni. Say no we are here. When to me I'm friend and can't say I'm sorry. They are here fachem. It's dangerous. And it will grow into a monster. It will eat you up later on. So, yes, times have changed. We must still maintain the discipline. But I think that, look, growing up and where I've come from, lessons learned, a simple sorry to my children, it doesn't hurt. Even my colleagues that I work with, I have not, it doesn't worry me to say sorry. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong.
You just accept it.
It doesn't matter. It makes you a man. You move on. You finish, you go and sit somewhere and then cool off. Of course, you offend your spouse, the same thing. It makes life much easier. I don't operate in areas where there's too much tension. No. I don't. So what I do on radio and television, and you think that I'm in a fighting mood 24 hours, Master, you will meet me in the middle of the street, and I'm a different person altogether. I like gospel, praise and worship. I think I've made Bekwe do some for me here from your collection. I like that one and old school high life.
Nana Champon.
No. That's Boga High Life. I'm talking about a question for J. Senior, they don't call them.
Because you get to hear stories.
I'm telling you.
The times have changed.
That's vintage music. So Oseboa come Mekaba, Otini baby, Wakotuba. Also Mbunra, Kwayem, and teaching morning review, not in Fie, Alaji. Now a breachery and neo giant. Most of Moko Bisan is ill. I am passing with Tubana. Moko, you know, Kaja Musea,
what is Shatawal and Yumbia about Sergeant Lee?
As I know, I can't even flow with the reading.
Well, come on.
There be many old ones, sir. Now the Baba got her life.
Now what's in you, Neda?
Then
Shatawal and you first Sergeant Lee. So you're not comfortable.
There's some more Banakamudin crying to me more.
Because I'm so can't be a walk kind and says they are comfortable in lead. No, says Sergeant Lee.
Actually, I see my Sinibiso say comfortable lead. Come out for.
Mate.
I have to go and ask for.
And what are you doing?
No, I have to go and they should pay me some rights.
Do you sometimes feel bad? So can't say something.
No. I knew what I was saying, and I'm glad I said it. We were in a comfortable lead.
And then what happened?
The MPP, the elephant, decided to enter into the electoral commission and do something. But you heard the electoral commissioner say the system had been tampered with.
That means, contrary to the answer he gave, election, whether it was legally won.
Who besides MP as Hanebano? No, that's on the lighter side.
Yeah. At the end of Koku Anyidoho, that one, and then we drop the curtain down at the conversation.
Don't play with my intelligence. Never.
Even if it's a neighbor fool.
Debbie, me Mpu Ne Mpu. And don't think that you can use me. Nobody uses me. Say me yama dear. Na a tall line so. Na ye drink Kobenkro. Never think that it is you who is engineering me to do what I'm doing. I do things on my own conviction. Yes. Now the people who nyansa chimi. Who find me check okachi obiso. Me nam kache kwakuza onye se are joking. Nobody uses me. I use my own brains.
A lot of questions, but when you're president, I'll be.
Come on, I beg you. Today is Friday. Tomorrow I'm going for a funeral in Akachi to go and bury my constituency women organizer here, Akachi South. I beg you. Would Jamie or bus stop higher?
Say, Usuro because will be the president and
would Jamie or bus stop higher? You paucho. Hey, and a Koku Anyidoho. Achananko. The Jamie bus stop higher.
Na General Secretary Obako.
Jamie bus. I'm the Deputy General Secretary to General Mosquito.
We have a General Mosquito. Mate. Mete say General Mosquito one here wonko.
Emrene so near here.
Well.
Say nothing going. Emrene so here you anko ejire.
Wan ko di abeko.
Emrene Ndru.
Oh, I'm losing the bull aspect of you. You say it as it is. I mean, if it doesn't go, you will go.
A day at a time.
We deal with the Sicho.
It means a resting place.
Resting place.
Yeah. Yesu Christo.
Sicho Koku Anyidoho.
Samuel. Koku.
No, my Henry. Okay.
Samuel Koku Sicho Anyidoho.
I was just have a pain now. I'm going to drink como Mpu Ne Mpu. You're the bremo and anopa. You didn't come up. You never praise. Oh, you're romantic. Young focus on you romantic. He's a very romantic guy. And Obeku Kumasi could do for an Koku instigation. It's a very interesting conversation. Nemo anopa will be an so what you Diana, a friend of Channel Hot. Unya bi na no mo a eboa papa mixy choco drink no say drink a ya no jollof that is ya kan bo that ntinu anzo benye nso hye na odo nsa ana odi atrebi no mu a so odo nso num kaka no aka hwe ntina me ka nsa no wo ka hwe na no bia eboa pa ma ne pedua na ye adwuma kama pa o say a very delicious and refreshing drink odi ku cup ma odo nso so hye ana de nwunu ana de hye the fra na one na homeka aba na mixy choco de ed nti bomodia me twa no hot na nom na homeka etumi mrafi. Happy birthday to Auntie Justina Kwenu. May you live to be over 100 in prosperous and in good health all your life. We feel ma Prince Obimpe sika ana erokia was say mama after we do birthday, may God continue to bless you. Now almost special package man the count, but they should do that. God bless you. And another one also goes out to Rasford Graduate Fashion Show. Basso China was Saturday 27th May. Our Kempinski Hotel. We are 4 p.m. Pepe Pentino. One more than